Have you ever wondered why there are so few dungeon masters when compared to players? Okay, yeah, it's because being a DM is a whole lot of work, right? I mean, why would you want to do that when you could just play the game instead? However, for me, being a dungeon master is infinitely more rewarding and fun than being a player. In this video, I'm going to talk about the benefits of being a dungeon master and why you might want to try it out. Hey, Luke Hart here. I have been a Dungeon Master since high school, and this channel is all about helping Dungeon Masters run awesome games. I create weekly D&D videos with information and resources designed to help DMs. So if you're looking to level up your D&D game, roll a crit on that subscribe button down below. And make sure you click that bell icon if you want to be notified when new videos come out. Alright, first, let's get the obvious out of the way. Why are there so few Dungeon Masters? I think the bottom line really is that being a Dungeon Master takes a lot of time away from the game, and it's just a lot more work than being a player. Unless you're just totally pantsing your games and not doing any prep work at all, a practice that I don't really recommend, then you're going to find yourself doing a lot of work away from the game in order to prepare for your game sessions. And a lot of people just don't want to do this. They want to just show up for the game session and play. Why write the book when you could just read it? A player only needs to show up and play. However, a DM needs to own the books, learn the rules well enough to remember and teach them, get the group together, schedule the game, plan the plot or buy the adventure, run the encounters, play as multiple characters, know the setting, know the story, and improvise an interactive world around them. In fact, I made an entire video about everything a Dungeon Master does. I will put a link up in the card if you're interested in checking that out. But I think another one of the reasons people maybe don't want to be a Dungeon Master is that it can be rather intimidating at times. I mean, when you're a Dungeon Master, you're kind of letting it all hang out, and all of your players might secretly be thinking to themselves, man, this guy really sucks. And I think that's a real fear that DMs or people looking to be DMs might have. And so there's probably some social anxiety wrapped around all of that stuff, I think. And sometimes Dungeon Masters have to deal with players who disrespect all of the work they're putting in to prep the game and run adventures for them. And that's downright discouraging. So at the end of the day, we end up with lots of people who want to play Dungeons & Dragons, but not very many Dungeon Masters willing to run it. Which I suppose is pretty good job security for the Dungeon Masters out there. Hey, real quick, let me know down in the comments reasons that you're hesitant to become a Dungeon Master, or if you are a Dungeon Master, reasons that you may have been hesitant to do so at first. Now this video would be really depressing if I ended on the note that DMing is hard work and sucks, so I'm not gonna do that, obviously. I mean, I'm a DM and I have lots of fun doing it, so it obviously doesn't suck. At least not for everyone. For me, being a Dungeon Master is so much fun that I even created an entire YouTube channel around helping other Dungeon Masters run awesome games so that they could experience some of that fun for themselves. Because here's the thing, being a Dungeon Master is one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had. There is very little that compares to that feeling of knowing that you just ran an awesome game for a group of players that thoroughly enjoyed themselves, in large part because of you, the Dungeon Master. On the other hand, it really sucks to have just run a crappy game that no one enjoyed. Because the fact is that everyone is going to have crappy games. I've had them, Matt Mercer has had them, you'll have them, everybody has them. But the better we get, the fewer of those we should have. And again, that's why I'm doing all of these videos. It's to try to get some of this information out of my head to help all of you run awesome games. Oh, by the way, I'm actually doing this video right here at the request of my patrons over on Patreon. Helping to choose the videos that I do is one of the perks that my patrons enjoy. If you're interested in having a say in the direction of this channel and the videos that I do, then I recommend checking out my Patreon page. There's a link down in the description if you want to check that out. Alright, let's talk about some of the tangible benefits of being a Dungeon Master. First, a Dungeon Master is always playing the game. Now, players have to wait their turns, and sometimes that wait can be intolerable. However, a Dungeon Master is always playing the game. He is always on stage. For me, this is one of the reasons that I enjoy Dungeon Mastering, because I'm always on. I'm like an attention hog in a way, so being a DM kind of works for me. As a player, I often get bored waiting for my turn, and I need to be careful because if I'm not, then I can easily become a table hog. So being a Dungeon Master helps me to always be on stage, and I think it's awesome. Next, the Dungeon Master gets to play new characters every session. Wow, do you know how bored I get playing the same character every game session? Let's say it's a fighter. Every single game session, I'm playing the same fighter. Boring! As a dungeon master, I create new characters, monsters, and NPCs all the time, and I get to play more than one of them each game session. The great thing about players is that they are almost guaranteed to kill, murder, and destroy everything they come across. So I'm never stuck playing one character or monster or NPC for very long. Number 3, I get to exercise my creativity. I love creating adventures and thinking of cool things for my players to encounter and do. Now, I don't get a whole lot into world building. I leave that to the professionals who are paid to do that full time, but I do make little tweaks to the world here and there. One of the great things about Dungeons & Dragons is that it allows both the players and the dungeon master to exercise their imaginations. And the DM especially gets that benefit. And finally, I get to be an entertainer and provide several hours of fun for my players every single week. I think I mentioned this before, but this is definitely the best part for me. The feeling that you just helped a table full of players get away from their life full of responsibilities and stress for just a few hours, that you helped them unwind after a week full of stuff that needs to get done, that you've helped facilitate a game that has been shown to improve mental health, that everyone was laughing and joking and having an awesome time because of you. Yeah. That's why I'm a DM. I'm helping other people. I'm giving them something for free that most people in our society want to charge for. And there is great reward in doing that. So, where do you go from here? My suggestion is that you give being a dungeon master a try for at least a few game sessions. D&D always needs more dungeon masters, and you won't know if you like it until you try. And you might end up being really good at it. And until next time, let's play D&D.